Hot Takes, Scene 1, Take 15. And what's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. My name is Derek. This is The Angle. So, on today's episode, guys, it won't be as lengthy as the others because we're going to be stepping into the segment of hot takes. And so, by hot takes, what am I talking about? I'm talking about stuff that you might have seen or heard on social media, might have heard it from the radio station, local radio station, whatever. People are just talking about it, that type of thing. Hip hop news, whatever. And so, as you can see or you can tell from the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about our boy Tyrese. So, yeah, it's going to get down. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into this thing. All right, guys. So, for this hot take, let me get you up to speed on what's going on and what we're talking about. So, we're talking about Tyrese Gibson, singer, actor. You're probably going to recognize him from the Fast Furious series and Baby Boy, those movies right there. And so, just a couple years ago, Tyrese went very viral on social media for a situation he had. He had a big falling out with his wife at the time, and she took custody of his daughter, or was about to get ready to take custody of his daughter. And so he started acting out on emotions, crying all over social media, hence where all these memes was coming from and people looking down on him as a man, all that type of stuff. That's kind of what was happening just a couple of years ago. And so that's resurfacing now because the ex-wife is requesting $20,000 per month in child support. Crazy. So I found out about this because I was at work earlier. I work for a rideshare company, and so while I was waiting on my next passenger to get into the car, I had about 30 minutes worth of downtime. So I'm listening to the radio station, and the radio host was a woman, and she brings up this hot topic. You know how they do in the radio stations, talk about what's in the news, what's hip, and so this was one of those things. And she begins to make a case for the ex-wife, and it gets kind of crazy. So she was like, "Well, before I start to, say what I need to say, let me play this. Let me play what Tyrese had to say on the topic at hand." So they played a soundbite back from an interview that someone was giving to Tyrese not per about the situation. And so the interviewer was like, "Yeah, man, you got all this stuff going on, and we hear that you don't want to pay $20,000 in child support. So what's that all about? Like, what's your thoughts? You wanna express yourself?" And so Tyrese gladly did that. And so in the interview, I'm listening to the soundbite. Came he came up with a very valid point, and I want to talk about that, right? So during their relationship, before the split up, this is all coming from him. According to Tyrese, they weren't spending 20K per month on this child as a unit. As a married couple, $20,000 per month wasn't the number, that they were just throwing at this one child. And so he's like, when you look at it like that, why now outside of the relationship are you asking me for $20,000 per month in child support? He was like, back then, I could have been, we could have been doing 20K if that's what you want to do. But now that we separated, we're going our own separate ways. You're coming at me with these numbers. Like that's a big ask, right? And so that's why he was telling the interviewer, like, that's the reason why I'm not paying. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving her $20,000 a month for child support. Man, we weren't even doing that at first. That's just a lot of money. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, you really don't even have to put a lot of thought into it. Yeah, that's a lot of money for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're making that type of money, whether you have this type of status, whether you're this type of person, regardless of who you are and where you are in your life, that's a lot of money to ask for. 20K per month. It's 12 months in a year. Let's do the math. And so what irritated me about it this morning was the radio host was making the case for the ex-wife and why the ex-wife needed the $20,000 a month. And so she's talking about, well, the daughter, she's going off with the mom, but she still needs to be able to uphold that lifestyle that she had with daddy. So daddy has to provide that, even though that she's not in his life anymore. So he got to come out that 20K. Like, go ahead, come out that 20K. Like, what's the big deal? Now, that's what irritated me. It irritated me because, like, that's just kind of absurd. And when you phrase it like that, when you put it like that, and when you mean it in that type of way, it just kind of paints the picture. Now the whole picture is painted. The pieces of the puzzle are all coming together. When you put it that way, it looks like you're on a mission. You know what I'm saying? It looks like you have an ulterior motive of, especially for asking for this amount of money. Because it's not like Tyrese is saying, "Oh yeah, I don't want to pay no child support." I doubt that that's the angle that he's going there. Obviously, he loves his daughter and he wants to do what's right. $20,000 is not what's right per month. It doesn't seem like you're trying to fund a lifestyle for that kid, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to fund a lifestyle for yourself, and that's selfish, right? Is it not? It you know. So more context to it, and another thing that Tyrese had brought up in the interview that made his point even more valid, right? The ex-wife has a LCSW, licensed social worker, and with the credentials that she has, she either is able to or she makes 160K. Now, it might not be Tyrese money, but it's comfortable money and it's more than the average person is making right now in this climate, which means that she can live comfortably and still take care of her daughter without needing $20,000 per month from an outside resource. That's the reason why this amount of money that she's asking for or demanding, from the court to order him to do is, man, that's crazy. And so while I was sitting there thinking about all this, I was like, man, earlier this morning, I talked about it a little bit on my Instagram story. And I was like, I might discuss it later on. And the more I put some thought into it, I decided to go ahead and make a little video off of it, call it a hot take. And so here we are. And so, let me know what you guys think about that. Like, am I tripping? Like, is it because Tyrese is a former superstar and we know that he got some money on him? He should be paying this 20K whether he like it or not. Like it's just the duty of that man to make that thing happen, or is the woman asking for an absurd amount of money and she's asking for the wrong reasons? Is it obvious? Is it not? Whatever. Like, just let me know in the comments, man. Like let's have a conversation about this thing because I want to know what you guys think. When I heard it on the radio and then hearing the radio host making the case, it was crazy for me. I mean, I didn't like it not one bit. And so as soon as she got done talking about it, I went straight to my Instagram and I was like, man, let me tell y'all, I just found out this thing and this lady was tripping. So yeah, she was just tripping out pretty hard. But yeah, man, I just want to see what you guys thought about it, man. Let's have a conversation in the comments, man. Talk to me. Let's see what you guys think. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this. So I know that we like to make fun of Tyrese because of what he did, and it's a big thing, the memes and all this other stuff, social media, blah blah. We having a good time. I also want to voice my opinion on this thing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I had this conversation with my girlfriend yesterday about this whole Tyrese thing, and I don't know, man. Men should be allowed to feel. It's basically what I'm trying to get at. Men should be allowed to feel, and because we live in a society where it's just not really a thing, as much as people like to act like it is, or they like to say like you can be yourself around me, and I'll talk about men and women, right? They like to say we have this open space. You can come do this, you can come do that. And the moment that men try to do these things, here we are. We're lowering the bar of who we think they are, who we thought they were, who they can't be, that type of thing. What they've done in the past doesn't matter now because of their actions. They're displaying too much emotion. I think that's pretty wild. Now, I will admit this, okay, per the situation, based off what Tyrese did a couple years ago when it all went down and he went live on social media and was crying and stuff like that. I can admit it's a bad look, and I feel like as men, we could have talked to him about that in that way. But a lot of the guys in the comments, and I don't know Tyrese on a personal level. I don't know if other celebrities or his personal friends, his family came to him and said, hey, you could have did that in a better way. And he got the message in that way. But based off people who don't know him, all the social media stuff, comment sections, that he was getting just shot down, to look, he was looked at as less than. And it's plenty of examples of other celebrity men that's tried to open up, and, Will Smith and people like that. That's another topic for another day. We just talking about Tyrese right now, but I want to voice my opinion on that. That I don't know if that's what we should be doing. We should be striving for something better. Now, if we want men to be men and, be the rock in the face of the world, in the face of his women and his children, I can agree with that. Let's uphold that standard for all men so that way we can help the world move forward and continue to do better and get into and go to better places. But when men are having these vulnerable moments, I don't now isn't the time to kick him while he's down. It's kind of old now, but it's not at the same time because these same memes are just all over the place. And now he's back. He's trying to express himself again, less emotional, but people aren't taking him serious. That's why the woman was on the radio station laughing at him, talk about he got to go and give it up, and people kind of not really giving him much energy toward the situation. They want to know why you won't pay $20,000. They're not really trying to hear him out. He's having to fend for himself. Everything that he's been doing like since that situation has kind of been pushed under the rug. It's looked down on. Like everything he says, everything he does, and it all stems from that. And I get it, but we should just do better, right? But let's uplift our men in different ways. We have to let men know that it is okay to express yourself and to have emotions. There is a time and a place. There is a time and a place, and there is a way. Maybe what he did wasn't the way, but you also can't exactly tell somebody how to feel in certain times, in certain situations. And I feel like at that time, that was a time and a situation where we weren't in his shoes, in his position, in his mind, body, and spirit to tell him to not feel. So there's a lot of avenues and a lot of things to pick at with that. And so that's just me giving my opinion on it. But keeping it on the topic at hand, if you want to, you can comment on that in the comment section as well. If I'm tripping on what I'm saying, or if you agree with what I'm saying, disagree, agree, disagree, agree. I don't care. Let's get in the comments. Let's talk about it. The hot take: Tyrese, 20K a month, ex-wife. What you guys think? Let me know something, guys. Man, this is the angle. Hot take, real quick episode. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.